bonus episode of What a Hell of a Way to Dad. It is Nate and Francis, and once again, we are on our quest to figure out why Gen X is that way. Today, we're diving a little deeper into the Gen X psyche. Nate, how are you doing?
I'm okay. It's definitely spring, but unfortunately, it's reverted to early spring weather as appropriate, as opposed to later spring weather, like what we were having a few weeks ago. So instead of it being in the low to mid 60s, it's in the high 40s to mid 50s and really windy. So this morning it was like 48, but feels like 29 with the wind. And the sun is so bright and it was so clear that I just wore, I have a t-shirt, I have like a corduroy button up, and I wore a jean jacket because that's been fine. And that was not fine this morning. I was in the wind tunnel, especially when coming back from dropping off my daughter at daycare, and was just getting fucking blasted, like the ice planet of Hoth's version of a hairdryer. And so it's spring, but I'm good. I definitely say that I feel like awake and alive after surviving the cold blast. So it's all good.
We dealt with about the same thing. I have to walk my dog every morning at about 6 a.m. and normally not a problem, but when it's 18 degrees and windy outside, we're having some problems. But it's going to be 60 degrees today. Feeling good. Nate, we watched Neverending Story, a movie that we have kind of talked about a few times on the show because it's a very German movie. And I know that there's very German elements because you grew up in Germany at a certain time.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah, I remember us talking about like the backpacks that all the kids had. These very square backpacks that only really exist in Germany. And
in Switzerland too, or in the German-speaking part. But yeah, it's it was interesting for me because as a kid, I could tell watching the kind of opening scenes where Bastion goes to school and thinking, it kind of looks like America, but not. And also, why are those look like German backpacks? And I knew the story was German because the Neverending Story is a basically children's fantasy novel by a German author in German. And my brother was, he would have been 8 when we moved there, and he learned German pretty fast as well. So by the time that he was 9 or so, he was able to read, books at his age group level in German. So he had that book, and I, as I was learning, I knew how to read, but I was 5 when we moved there. I tried to read it. I never finished the whole thing, but I did read some of it. And so I knew the book was German, but there was something uncanny about the film I couldn't put my finger on, which we can talk about the plot summary and everything. But I will say it was very funny because I hadn't watched it since I was a kid. And watching it now, as soon as that scene opened up, I was like, that's Gastown in Vancouver. What the fuck?
Gastown.
I was like, that is so Vancouver. It's not, because I've been to Vancouver twice now. And I was just like, what the hell? And then I realized, but those are definitely German backpacks. I wasn't wrong about that. It's just odd. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so as I learned from doing some deep diving on the, how it was made, the film was shot mostly on a soundstage in Germany, but scenes were also shot in Vancouver. And randomly some outdoor scenes shot in Europe, like in Spain. And I think some of the helicopter photography they used for like Casimili, the chroma key and the dragon flight was probably looked like it was shot in Europe as well, in the Alps and in Spain and stuff like that. So
yeah, there's a lot of set, like there's a big desert at one point. There's a mountain stream full of crystals at one point. They do really like kind of lend to not just the fantasy element of it, but also kind of keeping it grounded in, some kind of reality to it.
I would also say too that most of those scenes that I can tell, I think from a distance, it looked like they shot. That's not Noah Hathaway on a horse. That's just that's an extra, or that's a stuntman. Sure. They shot it at a distance, which is hilariously the same approach they used in many of the scenes of the Depeche Mode video for Enjoy the Silence, because Dave Gahan was like, I am really fucking tired of having to walk around everywhere in a goddamn king's robe. So they shot all these shots from the distance because it's not him anymore. It's an extra. But yeah, I definitely realized immediately what it was, like that uncanniness was that this is a very German production, but with American actors, and some of it's not, some of it's shot in Canada as well.
Mm-hmm.